are stories that connect us to ourselves and each other. These stories reveal who we are and show us the many vivid, wild colors of our truth. Welcome to Soul Wanderings, where we raise spiritual awareness and foster connections through these shared stories and personal experiences. And now, exclusively on KGRA Radio, I give you your host for Soul Wanderings Radio. Here's AJ.
Hello, Wanders. Welcome. It's Wednesday night, the night for wandering. And tonight we shall do just that. We have one of your all-time favorite guests spending time with us tonight. It's the last live show of the year, and we have one big announcement to share with you about the future of Soul Wanderings. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you guys will all take the pause, grab your favorite beverage, get all warm and cozy, and indulge in some guidance for navigating the holidays with emotional intelligence with our favorite and one and only human wilderness guide, Natalie Peace.
Hello.
Hi, Miss Natalie.
I'm excited to talk about this.
Well, we'll get into it, but hold your horses.
We've got a lot of other things to take care of first.
Not really. We're going to save the big news for later. And I'm glad you're here tonight to share the big news with me.
Oh, I'm excited.
I love that we have an in-house guest. I love that it's you. I love that you're the last guest of the year and that you'll be here to share with the big news with me, with everyone. So, yay. Thank you. You've been on the show a few times.
Yeah, I was looking back through just what I could see on the website. I was like, wow, it's been lovely. So, feels like home when I'm sitting here in this chair with a mic and headphones. And so it's always fun.
You feel super comfortable.
I do.
Like you've done this before.
It is. Yes.
You might have.
Maybe.
Well, you have been one of the most requested return guests. I do have to share that with you.
Yay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
I'm super cool because I'm the most requested return guest.
Oh, yeah. Well, we do every single time you're on the show. Everyone's like, when are you going to have Natalie back? What's going on with Natalie? So, I mean, there's always too big of a break in between you coming. That's for sure. But I have to give everyone else a chance.
Of course.
But here you are. You're back. And that makes me happy. I'm trying not to look at you.
Because
you're over there.
The camera angles is
and
really
it looks
interesting.
funny when I look over there at you on the camera. I'm trying to look over here at you on the camera, but it's weird.
Oh, yes.
Natalie, you're so good at what you do, and so many people come to you for all the things. Happy things, sad things, the in-between things. Tell us a little bit about you for those who have never watched a Natalie Peace visit, and so they have a good idea of who you are and what you're bringing with you and why you're going to be sharing what you're sharing with us tonight.
So I have words okay,
It's
work out the rust off the mouth tonight. But so especially happens when I'm like, oh, I have to share about myself. And I'm like, okay, elevator speech, natural thing. No. So I work a lot with grief. It is not the only thing that I do, but I would consider it a specialty of mine. So I do regular grief groups and have been doing that for 10, 11 years, at least for suicide loss. And for the last 6, we'll be going into my 7th year for a local mortuary here. Yeah. I do 2 a week. So I do a lot of gathering with grievers. So it's regular and consistent, which I would say has made me a sort of what I would say emotional specialist. So I call myself a human wilderness guide because I feel like I'm comfortable in going with someone to whatever wilderness. Everybody has a wilderness that they get to wander through their wilderness, sometimes through their life. And so I feel comfortable sitting with people when they're in their wilderness. And that includes just maybe relationship things or just regular, just struggle with humans, being human. This is a really interesting thing to contemplate, this human experience that we're in. We come here, we have a body, and the body just creates its own sort of all kinds of things, no matter when you are young, learning how. I was with my little nephew, he's 5, and watching him just use his little body. And it's really fascinating when they're young and like using the body and he's flipping around and like being acrobatic on the floor.
They're so flimsy flopsy when they're young. I miss those days.
All the way to when you're old and your body is just in a whole different state. And so I do a lot of work. I say all things human. All things human. And a lot of times I'm dealing with deep emotional stuff. So that's what I feel like. The holidays are inherently difficult emotionally, even if it's joyful. Sometimes there could be family drama or all kinds of things. Definitely so much expectations on the holidays.
Yeah.
So
oh, the holidays. Okay, so my least favorite thing ever. I think they're just have become, they never really should have been a thing, but in my opinion, but because they are, it's really frustrating that they are what they are now.
I know.
Because there is so much added pressure and stress on top of all of the emotional things that we're feeling as human beings, especially if it comes to like your first Christmas without your sweetheart because they passed, or your parent or your pet or whatever that looks like. And that's just all of that on top of all of that. And then you have this, the stress of obligation and expectations.
And these days, we are going through within our country and maybe even on the globe as far as some financial difficulties. Then there's extra, I read articles that everybody's debt this is often the highest that it's ever been, especially if you bought a house in the last little while. It's like everything has been inflated. So it's like there's a lot of extra financial stress and
yeah, it's a thing. And not that it's different now than it's ever been. I just think that times are different now than they've ever been before.
Well, it's definitely the now that we're in. So even if it's that, just says, well, this is the now that we're in, so we have to deal with this now versus some other things. And when this now is different than previous because of loss or any stress, then there's some benefit of knowing some ways to navigate that emotionally.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, talk about stress. I'm having some work things go on. So I'm glad you carried that for us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Our sweet little Amanda at Vibes, I have to say I'm so grateful for her. I totally off topic, but she's like managing the store right now, and there's a little bit of a thing going on right when we started. So I'm not ignoring you. I'm taking care of this business while we do this business.
But may I say, so I'm not necessarily the greatest, like I multitask like in my life. So I have these, like I have 5 or 6 things. You see me, I bounce in and I go from here and then I'm going to go to another place. And I always have a lot of things going on within my life, but I don't necessarily do that well. And I'm more of a one thing at a time when I'm doing something, but I am just get amazed at how you're able to juggle a bunch of things. It's like, wow, that's really
I am
good.
too, especially with this brain of mine, because we all know I have some cognitive issues going on. Actually, like I thrive off of like being busier. It's when I'm not doing things that I find myself struggling.
When it just comes down to just Oh.
being very minimal.
Mm.
And no, y'all, it's not a trauma response. Everyone tells me it's trauma response. I've checked in with that. Everything does not have to be related to trauma.
No, in fact, with my work with the human design, that's a lot of things are just
I'm just
related to
good
the
at
way you're
multitasking.
made to operate. So there's some benefit in understanding exactly how you're designed to operate and operating within those parameters.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's just the way that, I mean, we're all different, right? We're all uniquely different. And so,
We are.
I mean, I am who I am and I can do this. You are who you are. And this is not your strong suit, but you do things that aren't mine.
That's right. I can sit and listen and listen and listen and listen to someone go all the way through their
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is they're experiencing. I'm definitely an adept listener.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the benefits, like with my coaching, that people will feel very heard.
Yes.
And that simple, just being able to listen to someone and have them be able to fully express wherever it is that the situations that they're in or the situations that they've gone through. And then they go all the way through that, pop out the other side, and they feel different.
It's true.
So I find people leave different groups with me or the private sessions with me, and they feel lighter.
It's true.
And it's like, oh,
I see
yay.
it day in and day out, and I've experienced it for myself.
You're like, okay, you feel better. Good.
I
doing my
always
job right.
purge on Natalie. Natalie. I don't mean to, but she just makes it so easy.
And then it's just like,
And
okay.
I don't talk to very many people. Very many. What am I talking about? I really don't talk to anybody. I have like 3 people
that are your go-to people,
which I shouldn't complain about because if it comes across that way, I'm not complaining. But yeah, I'm super blessed that I have that. Some people don't have the one. So,
right.
But if you need the one, Natalie's the one.
Thanks.
She is a fantastic listener.
Sometimes I say wise things back.
Sometimes.
And sometimes. Well, I work on being wise. I've done a lot of study throughout my life, and my brain, I do not understand this, but I remember one time I was at Vibes and there was, all kinds of different people come through the store and they, with all kinds of different perception. So there was this couple that was in there one time and the guy just said, he said, I don't know, he had this way of perceiving and he said, so when's your birthday? And so I told him and he said, oh, and he started to tell me how my brain was sort of like a spreadsheet and it kept things organized and
so
orderly
true.
in there. And it really is true. The things that I can remember people and their stories, and I don't even know
what you remember.
I don't even know how that happens. It isn't something I try to do. So people sometimes I'll have to say, okay, just remind me just a little. Oh yeah, I remember that. And then I can remember the details of each person. So stuck in my spreadsheet up there.
It's crazy how it is and how you do, because I've watched people who haven't even been into the shop or you haven't seen in years pop in. And you're like, hello, so-and-so. I'm like, how did you remember their name? I watched your conversation together. I remember it, but how do you remember their name? And you remember their signs. You're like, oh, well, that makes sense. You're a Capricorn. I'm like, what? How?
And
See, that's where your strength is. That's not my strength. You're like, any secretarial anything, I'm your girl. You with like names and birth dates and human design and numerology and astrology with a stranger you met and had a 5-minute conversation with 6 years ago. That's Natalie.
It does happen. I can't explain it.
It's crazy.
It's my natural talent. I didn't try to do that. So it's interesting throughout my life how I've moved from I used to work for the federal government and I did years and years in human resources. So it's interesting to think about that. So I've always been in human things. So I was human resources for years. And I always
we do have that in common.
Yeah, I have this knack for explaining complex. So I used to be able to explain like So I worked for the federal government as civilian personnel for almost 20 years throughout my career. And I could explain like the veterans preference laws. And so I would be able to explain it to my coworkers and go into all that. I understood it. I understood how to apply it. And so I used to have a line of people at my desk that would come in and I'd need to like help them kind of go through the things. I was their go-to reference. Instead of the books, they would come see me. And then proceeded from that into working with like peer-to-peer support within for the Air Force. And then the Air Force trained me to be a master resilience trainer, which was some additional like stand in front of a group and be entertaining and educational and learning to teach concepts, and which just enriched some of the experience I had already and a natural talent. And now I do that also where I do entertaining and it's substantive. Is that a right word?
Did you say you do entertaining?
I like to be entertaining.
That's true. Every party I've ever had, Natalie's been there, and she has definitely been the entertainer.
Someone asked me one time, so do you have Leo in your sign? And I'm like, I don't know. I knew I was a Capricorn, or Leo in your chart. And I said, oh, yes, my moon's in Leo. And I guess that's an aspect of being a Leo is
really?
Kind of being like, I don't know.
Huh. You know, my son's a Leo. I don't know much about Leos because he's not like everything I've read about Leos. He is not.
So this is the little nutshell. I have a little nutshell for every sign. And I say for Leos, every Leo has a kingdom. And it doesn't matter the size of their kingdom. But within their kingdom, they care a lot about their kingdom.
It's true.
And they don't like their way of handling their kingdom questioned much.
Okay. That is my son. Totally.
So if that describes him as a Leo, that's the way I describe Leos.
Yeah. Totally, completely. Yep.
I remember telling a mom one time, I said, okay, your son's a Leo. And when you start like pestering him too much and questioning the way he's running his show, and he was a teenager, he doesn't like that. So just like respect him. And like, so it was interesting how I would just give these little tidbits of saying. So form and function is an important thing as far as understanding the way things function and the form things take, which, bringing in emotional stuff, emotions have particular form and function. And I find that a lot of people have a very resistive relationship with emotions, where they think that it's best if we need to wrangle them into submission and we need to be in control. And that's just not the way emotions tend to function. Yeah. Emotions are a thing. They seem to, I will describe it this way. Emotions have an intelligence all their own. And too often our society hasn't necessarily. Now, this is just a judgment call on but this is also what I see, that we get a little off track of working with the emotions. The emotions will come at a particular time and they kind of have their way with us and then they go. This is the way emotions work. They come and they go. No emotion stays forever. Every emotion is a temporary experience. So too often yes, thank goodness. Whew. But a lot of times we feel like when we're in the throes of a particular emotion, and this is the full range. So, but we tend to, when we're having conversations about like the holidays and tend to lean over to the more difficult or distressing emotions. And so with those, we want to hurry from the experience as quickly as possible. We need to end it. We think that it needs to be examined and analyzed and never repeated. That isn't the way to do emotionally intelligent.
Right. And also what I've learned with you, because you are a specialist in human design, you work with people in their human design, and each person in their own unique, what would it be called? Format, plan, design.
Yeah. Within their own body graph.
Everyone has a different emotional intelligence.
Yes.
what I found interesting is when you were talking to me about emotions and how my emotions show up a certain way. And you showed me a graph and what that looked like. And I was like, oh my gosh. So we all experience emotions differently. Not only do all of us have the same emotions, all of us feel them differently. They also show up for us differently. And we also show them outwardly differently. That's what blows my mind. So for my human design, my emotions, I'm normally just like, new, 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 new. Oop, do, 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 do. I'm like pretty much even kill. And it's true. My human design just blows me away. But I just am just usually just like hanging most of the time. And then every once in a while I'll get a spike in the up and a spike in the down. But mostly I'm just in the middle, just hanging out. And the holidays for me, I think, is when my spike goes up. When I'm just like, I'm so sick of this, let's be done, kind of thing, you know?
Right.
And so, like, even just feeling that and like going through it, I handle it so much differently. Where, like, someone in my family who is feeling about the same as I am, maybe on deeper levels, the loss is greater for that person. Completely different than me, like down, 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 down.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just interesting how we can go through similar experiences, have similar emotions, but feel them and react with them so completely opposite.
Yeah, there's different waveforms. Emotions do come in a waveform. Even if you want to think about a waveform like the waves literally crashing on the beach, that kind of waveform. They come in and then they go out. They come in and they go out. There's a pulse to them.
Yeah.
And that each person, when I'm very good one-on-one and with individuals, I understand individuals and can put them in their box.
Mm-hmm.
And so like having a conversation and being able to articulate a way that that person is going through their experience will often resonate and sort of validate a person's way of being.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times that actually is really beneficial, because then a person says, oh, well, I was maybe thinking that that needed to be changed. And I say, well, there's some things that you can't change.
Right.
And it's the exercise in frustration if you are trying to change the parts of you that can't be changed.
Yeah.
And that's a misdirection. And you're putting a whole bunch of energy in a direction that isn't effective.
Right. We're so quick to want to change things about us that make us who we are.
That's correct.
But we don't need to change who we are. We just need to learn how to navigate through the ways that we are.
Right. But often
and the others around us.
That's right. And learning the way others around us are, because they have their own way.
Right.
And knowing that is actually, it's like can really crack open a situation.
That's been so beneficial to just know when, like, we hang out in our shop, our space, and have these conversations, and just you talking to others. So I'm learning their ways, and I'm like, oh, that's why I react that way with them. And it's allowed me to be more soft, if you will, because I'm more understanding of where they're coming from, instead of like, what's wrong with you? Because it's not my way. Because I don't have that
way.
I'm an emotional being, but I don't act emotional to everything that other people do so quickly. And I'm like, they're emotional.
And it's interesting watching those people that are that aren't necessarily supposed to be emotional, be uber emotional. Then you're just like, they should educate you about that.
Yeah. Humans, we're so fascinating, aren't we?
We are.
I mean, I appreciate it. All the humans in all the ways. I learned so much from everyone.
Me too.
I've learned a lot about myself through you also.
It's been fun.
I'm grateful for that. So I'm like, oh, I'm really not that broken. I just need to learn how to work with myself.
Right.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
And we'll learn more.
Yes.
We'll learn more. If you guys have questions in the chat room, I'd love for you to hang out on KGRA Digital Broadcasting's Facebook and or YouTube pages. That's where everyone is chilling in the background. We're going to take a break real quick. So while we do, hop into one of those rooms and hang out with us. And we'll be back here in just a moment.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Are we alone in the universe? The most important question facing humanity is on the verge of being settled once and for all. The Mutual UFO Network has been at the forefront of this journey for nearly 50 years. Our members worldwide are dedicated to the research, documentation, and awareness that will shape the future of humanity. Won't you join us?
It's not just a donation.
It's a warm blanket.
It's a bottle of clean water.
It's a roof and a bed.
It's knowing someone cares.
It's feeling safe.
It's a today that's better than yesterday.
Every dollar you can spare helps so much more than you can imagine. Please, donate now to help people affected by Hurricane Ian. Your support is urgently needed.
You're listening to the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. We provide unparalleled coverage of trending news in the world of ufology, cryptozoology, and paranormal phenomenon. Whether you're watching our video live stream or listening to one of our audio programs, you are getting the best from world-renowned researchers and hosts, guiding you through topics the mainstream won't touch. Miss one of your favorite programs? No problem. Head over to the members area at kgradb.com for access to our massive library of award-winning content. Make contact, stay connected, only at kgradb.com.
Hi, Wanderers. Welcome back. This is Soul Wanderings, and I am AJ. Our guest tonight is the one and only Natalie Peace, and we are talking about navigating the holidays with emotional intelligence. And it's a conversation for everyone. Everyone can benefit from hearing all of this goodness that Natalie has to share with us tonight. Am I right?
That's correct.
That's why you're here.
Who out there doesn't have emotion? They're just like,
Yeah, each and every one of us are emotional on one level or another.
Right.
And some of us feel our emotions deeply, and some of us don't feel them
as deeply.
I won't say at all, because that's not true either. Just
Right.
shows up differently.
Yeah. It's funny how the holidays squeeze. I remember this. Who was I listening to? Oh, Wayne Dyer. I was listening to a talk about Wayne Dyer, and he would say, what happens when people get squeezed, what's inside of them comes out. And so these times of difficulty or stress or those things squeeze what's inside of us out. And sometimes we don't really like, if there is junk inside of us and it starts bubbling up and we have reactions, we often don't like that. And we don't want to see ourselves that clearly. Oh, it does. Oh, there's nothing like a really difficult emotional experience to make us uncomfortable, or other people. And so all this, plus you're usually more than one person and these dynamics of families. And then sometimes families come together, and there's times in families that you wouldn't hang out with your family unless you were family.
Right.
A lot of times people would be like, if I wasn't related, or your nuclear family, like your siblings might marry someone that you don't really like, but they like them.
Right.
So suddenly they're family.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's uncomfortable and awkward. And nobody wants to go to a party with people they don't want to be around.
Right.
So then what?
Then what do you do?
How do you handle a situation like that without letting that emotion take over you and ruin your experience?
So we want to broaden it from not just emotionally specific, but our emotions actually can be driven by our mindset or by our deeply rooted, ingrained perspective or mindsets about particular things. So I had a friend today that was texting me, is like, I want to quit. I just out of this, I'm just done with this. And I said, well, that's one perspective on a thing. And so often, there's a level of self-awareness, and having a certain level of self-awareness does increase the emotional intelligence. The more we're self-aware, the more we can be emotionally intelligent about something. And so handling this, navigating a party, there's some times where we need to check ourselves, and we may feel justified, entitled, and we're going to hold a particular line, and we're going to go in, and we may be the one that's creating the non-fun time. It's always a choice. Most often in things like that, that's deeply ingrained, it's sort of become a default choice. And so there's times where if you can feel tension rising up with you, or you're thinking about a particular person, then challenge yourself to think a completely different opposite thought.
Opposite from what you're feeling about that person?
Right. Right. So you're actually practicing taking on a completely different perspective than the one that you're holding.
Even if it feels very unreal and very untrue for you?
Yes. Even if it feels untrue. Because, there's so many different perspectives. When you look, so a wise person once said that when you change the way you look at something, that thing changes. And that's a simple statement, but pretty complex as far as living it out. But it is true that when you change the way you look at it, it will change. So are you brave enough to practice shifting your perspective and experiment? Even if you just say, okay.
Right. You're not going to hurt anything by shifting. And no one needs to know but you.
Right. You can just go, okay, so what if I just change this? And I've been saying this much more lately. I said, look, if I have to tell myself a story anyway, because that's what our thought streams is essentially stories.
Right.
And we can feel committed to a truth, but a truth is only, the truth is so much bigger and so much broader perspective that one person holding to a particular thing can't be the whole truth. It just can't be, because it doesn't work that way. So willingness to be a little more fluid, or to, get out of your comfort zone. And so you have to get out of your comfort zone, go through this uncomfortable stuff to then expand. And generally what we're here for as humans is to expand.
Right.
So it's good to get out of that comfort zone, challenge yourself, experiment with it.
Mm-hmm. What I've liked to do, something similar to that, obviously, because when I tell you, it'd be obviously. I just tell myself nothing is real anyway, so what does it matter?
It's all an illusion.
My feelings about that isn't real. That person isn't real. This situation isn't real. We're all in this big fat simulation anyway. So
we're all in the Truman Show.
For real. That's how I've gotten through some really challenging situations. I'm like, just go to the damn thing, and
Whatever
it's not
it
real
takes.
anyway. So but I haven't always been that way. I used to be a very emotional person, believe it or not.
You mean your waves used to be
more dramatic,
much more closer together instead of
yes. I have a lot more like even keel now and less ups and downs, but it used to be a lot more ups and downs. And I think it's because I used to put so much stock into how I felt and what other people felt. Like I used to care so much about what other people thought, not just about me, but in general, like because I cared about people.
Right. It's interesting to, to actually take this perspective or this concept to say, you mean I can care about a person and not try to manage their emotions?
Right.
Oh yeah. That's definitely.
But I didn't realize that's what I was doing.
Right.
Yeah.
You didn't realize it was actually very manipulative.
Exactly. I mean, yes. I mean, if you look at it that way, absolutely. I had an expectation.
Mm-hmm.
And not just that. I mean, I genuinely cared about what other people experience. Like if I wanted them to have a good time or a good experience, I had that expectation for them to have that. And if they didn't have that, I felt responsible.
So it's interesting to take that and then we just move it into like, if you are a person in grief, go navigating the holidays, and you are in, grief, and you're experiencing that loss, and that person isn't there, and they were always there for holiday celebrations. And then you go to holiday celebrations and people are wanting you to have a good time because they want you to have a break from the grief, and there's a lot of pressure on that. And a person that's in there walking their grief journey, and they're, just within a few years from the loss, there's a lot of pressure to be happy.
Right.
When it's actually not really in alignment to be super happy. It's kind of like a little crazy. Kind of think about what's crazy is to be like super happy when, your person isn't there.
Yeah.
It's part of the experience.
Yeah. It is part of the experience. And the other thing about that is there's no timeline on what that experience looks like.
Right.
It's so different for each and every single person.
It's true. But it is difficult when you're family members or you're watching your loved one be sad and you want them to have a break from that. So it's there's so much to navigating all those dynamics.
It's true.
So when those things that we talk about in the grief group is empowering the griever to be able to understand that it's their life that they have to live now. If it's their spouse that's not there or their parents are not there, life is different. There is no going back to the way it was when that person or people, because there's people with a lot of different losses, when they were here. I mean, now life is different. And so now you have to navigate this new, different life. And you don't know how, or you're just learning these things. So there's a lot of uncomfortableness. So I believe, and I work to empower the griever, not only with their grief, but also with their ability to do life, to be actually navigating a new life. So there's a lot of dynamics in that. It's not just simple.
No, none of it is nothing about it is simple. And it also changes literally every day.
Yes.
Literally every day.
Right.
We just got Ascending Viking Hugs, AJ and Natalie.
Aww.
We know who that's from.
Aww.
As we talk about grief through the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
Big Viking hugs back to you. That's I think with the holidays, outside of the pressure of the expectations and the being around family you wouldn't prefer to be around, or friends, or whatever that looks like, I think grief is the hardest thing to go through during the holidays. I think missing your loved one is at the very top of the list of the challenging emotional things that you experience at times that are of this nature.
Oh, yeah. And frankly, it is not, there really isn't an easy way. In all my years of working with bereavement and in the grief area, I haven't found a shortcut.
Yeah.
But one thing I can say, and this is a particular coping skill or a strategy, is pre-grieving. So the concept of pre-grieving is when you know you've got this family party, or, and we can, pre-grieving or pre-feeling a situation, you actually give space for you to sit with your grief before you need to go and show up and be with a bunch of people. And so you give space for that grief and you feel whatever feelings are going to come out. Maybe you cry for a while, or maybe you're angry that things have turned out the way that they are. And you've just let yourself feel all the emotion until, well, it's preferable if it's not like forever. So you set a timer like 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Can you put a timer on grief like that?
Yes. So this is a specific, purposeful, on purpose situation where you put a timer on it and you just let yourself open to the feelings and then let those feelings flow. And then when the timer goes off, it's almost like if you were to sit with your, the old cigar boxes where people put mementos in there, or a hat box where you have your photos and things in that. So it's almost you take that imaginary or literal and you open it up and you just let yourself wander through that. And then when the timer goes off, you put that away, put it back up on the shelf. And then you're like, okay, I'm in life and I've got to do life right now. And I'm here. My body is still alive. So I still have a life to live. Because a lot of times people, especially with spousal losses, and I find especially with people that are older, they kind of go into a waiting to die scenario. I'm just holding my place until I die and go meet my loved one again. And life isn't like that. Ultimately.
Yeah.
You have a life still, which finding meaning in your life when that's the scenario can be tricky. But done on purpose with some thought about it, it can change your situation and time.
There's a comment in the chat room I thought was interesting. You brought up the timer, putting a timer on your grief before going to an event. Someone made comment, other people like to put timers on your grief.
Yes, that is true.
It is very true. I thought, I mean, there are many times where that has been done. I've seen that even in our space while you're trying to work with someone and someone interrupts with a comment like, oh, it's been that long. You're good. Right.
Oh, it should be. So I find most often people that are putting pressure on for it to be done, not always, but generally they do not have experienced the same sort of loss.
Yeah.
So they either haven't experienced a deep loss or not the same sort.
Right.
So I find a lot of people that have like spousal loss, and then they'll have people meaning well. They mean well, all the while they're standing right next to their spouse, or they have their spouse right there. And you're just like, okay, you do not understand.
Yeah.
Just don't
Well,
understand.
and again, it goes back to all of us are so individual and we all feel things differently. End of story.
End of story.
There's no rationalizing that or explaining that away or telling someone they're right or wrong. It's just we're all different, period, the end.
Right.
And there's no room for judgment or coulda, shouldas or anything like that. Just allow people to have their emotional moment without judgment and just literally just love them through it. Even if it is years and years. Like it's different for everybody.
It is different.
What would you suggest to those say they do take that moment before their party or their experience and have their moment to remember and cherish memories past. But when they're at the party, something comes up and brings all of that emotion forward in that moment.
So one of my basic rules is whenever grief shows up, say hello.
That made me think, hello, darkness, my old friend. Sorry.
Yes, it's true.
But that's how it feels every time.
So I find this, I'll say, hello, grief. There you are. Come sit down. Let's have some tea. So you acknowledge that's coming up. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it can move quickly where you acknowledge it and just like, oh, I will often also say that it's possible that your loved one in spirit is standing right next to you and you have this emotion that comes up because that's just the way spirit and bodies communicate. Mm-hmm. Is through some sort of emotional response. Mm-hmm. So there's those things. So you can still have an acknowledgement of the feeling instead of trying to, or you can just like, okay, there's all sorts of, it does get awkward. Mm-hmm. The other thing I wanted to say is that allowing yourself to experience the other side of the spectrum, allowing yourself to laugh and allowing yourself to have a little joy and allowing a little sparkle to be there is also necessary for a person going through grief, is opening up to the brighter feelings and letting yourself have a sparkle, really, truly. So essentially, it's like we can be often emotionally prejudiced where we want to just have the positive side or the negative side, because a lot of times people just can be really negative emotionally. Mm-hmm. So it does require a little raising your self-awareness, practicing being with emotion without that, like you were saying, non-judgment. So you were talking about it between two people. But you got to practice that within yourself too, because
absolutely,
we're really hard on ourselves.
It's very true.
And if you can practice, this is like in meditation and in like Buddhist philosophy, you practice sitting and experience whatever you're experiencing without judgment. So you've got to practice it outside of these moments.
Right. And when you practice it with yourself, it's so much easier to show up that way for others.
It is.
There's some chat going on in the chat room on Facebook or YouTube. I'm sorry. And I'm very familiar with this. They're talking about when people are going through grief or sickness or in need of help, other people disappear.
They do.
And I know that to be very true because I've been going through my own challenges as of late, but I also haven't been very vocal about them. However, I'll share. I'm going to be more authentic and share some stuff later, but that's really hard. I mean, putting it bluntly, it's really hard to be going through that grief or going through that illness or going through whatever and really not having a support system around you. So,
okay, so let me just agreed with that. So I'm going to say that there are times where you're going through something that there may be, and let's just check this first. Is there an expectation for it to be a particular person or a handful of people?
Right.
But you may be having a different handful of people show up. So some people are not the right people to be showing up in those heavy experiences.
Exactly.
But you may find that the universe has given you other people that are showing up, and you with the expectations are saying, not you, this person. I need this person to be showing up like you. And then you'll go to this person and say, well, you're not showing up, but this person over here is showing up. And there's some emotional intelligence that says, take a step back and go, wait a minute, but I am having a support network. It's just not the one I want to show up.
The one that I thought or assumed or hoped for.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that happening for some people and why they feel that the way that they do.
Right. So there's part of it that this is where our mindset can get in and actually can make it hard on ourselves. And where you should take a step back, just kind of slip into some non-judgment and notice what is. You know, that lovely saying, it is what it is. We're often in resistance.
I say that so much.
So, frankly, grief and sickness, there are a lot of people that are not equipped. They're not equipped for it. They really struggle. So, giving good quality support to someone that's grieving or that's sick. But there's many people that are equipped for it.
Right. I just think that it makes people uncomfortable because you just don't know what to say or do.
I know.
And so people just avoid it altogether.
Let's try less words.
Yeah.
Often less words.
You don't always have to say something.
Say less.
No, that's great advice. You don't always have to say something.
Some of the most positive. So there's this man that I've met along the way whose son died by suicide. And he'll tell the story about one of the best conversations he ever had with a friend that came over, and they said hardly anything for like 3 hours. He said it was the best conversation because his friend understood. And he says, we just sat there. We just were.
Those are my favorite. And those are called heart conversations to me, like heart to heart. Those are the best.
And it's funny how uncomfortable we can get when there's just no words happening.
Yeah.
And there are some situations that do not require any sort of explanation. It's nothing that needs to be fixed, just experienced.
Yeah, you're right. You're so right. Well, you're so good at this, Natalie. It's like it's like you've done this before.
It's like I've done this before, right?
I love it. I'm so grateful for your big, beautiful brain.
Oh, thank you.
We're almost at the top of the hour, but before we head into the second hour, I'm going to give you all a disclaimer. We have some big news coming. Big news. We have a big show announcement because the future of Soul Wanderings is going to change, and we're not going anywhere. I'm still going to be here. So that's awesome. And we have a whole new year planned, and that's what I'm going to be sharing with you. And Natalie's hanging out.
And I'm hanging out.
So going into the second hour, we'll do that, and we'll do a little more wandering with our guest, Natalie Peace. So stay close.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Are we alone in the universe? The most important question facing humanity is on the verge of being settled once and for all. The Mutual UFO Network has been at the forefront of this journey for nearly 50 years. Our members worldwide are dedicated to the research, documentation, and awareness that will shape the future of humanity. Won't you join us?
It's not just a donation.
It's a warm blanket.
It's a bottle of clean water.
It's a roof and a bed.
It's knowing someone cares.
It's feeling safe.
It's a today that's better than yesterday.
Every dollar you can spare helps so much more than you can imagine. Please, donate now to help people affected by Hurricane Ian. Your support is urgently needed.
You're listening to the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. We provide unparalleled coverage of trending news in the world of ufology, cryptozoology, and paranormal phenomenon. Whether you're watching our video live stream or listening to one of our audio programs, you are getting the best from world-renowned researchers and hosts, guiding you through topics the mainstream won't touch. Miss one of your favorite programs? No problem. Head over to the members area at kgradb.com for access to our massive library of award-winning content. Make contact, stay connected, only at kgradb.com.
Hi, Wanderers. Welcome back. You are listening to Soul Wanderings on KGRA Digital Broadcasting, your number one paranormal and alternative talk network. If you're joining us on kgradb.com, thank you. That means that you're a member, and we really appreciate the support. If you're not already, make sure you head on over there. There's a week trial where you can test it out and see if you like it. And when you decide you want to have an annual membership, I have a promo code called SOUL21, SOUL21, which gives you 30% off your annual membership. So it's a lot of money, some big old savings, and who couldn't use that? But go over, visit, check it out. It's pretty cool. My show's there. There's a bunch of other shows. Lots and lots of hours of shows, actually. Bill, our program director, has been putting in the work. So go check it out. We are headed into our second hour of wandering. And we have Natalie Peace, who's been hanging out with us tonight. She is our human wilderness guide. And I told you in the second hour, you would be hearing about some things. So we're going to take a break from all of this goodness with Natalie Peace, who is always so full of abundance for our brains and our hearts. Thank you.
You're welcome.
She always have the goods for us.
Keep working on it.
So this is going to be long. I'm just warning you. You guys should know that I'm long-winded sometimes when I just go on and on. I'm not the greatest at just getting to the point. I have to have a whole story.
That makes it exciting, and that's part of this soul wanderings.
Yeah, I have to have a whole story. So it's been brought to my attention that some of you are pretty anxious to know what the announcement is already. So I'll be sure to take extra time. So you guys know, if you've been following me for especially this year, but I've been doing the show for 6 years now.
That's incredible.
It's awesome. It's gone through a lot of changes. It's gone through highs and lows and ups and downs and producers and guests, and even like in the very, very beginning, I had a co-host. So anyway, last year, I took a break from the show for about 3 or 4 months. It was my first big break in the whole 6 years that I've done the show. And during that time, I just knew I had to take a break because I had to make sure I was where I was meant to be. And I explained all of this to you guys when I came back, so we don't really need to go into this, but I just really dug in deep to where my heart was and what the future looked like with Soul Wanderings. And after deciding that I was still going to continue to do Soul Wanderings and make it a big part of my life, I then had to figure out what I wanted that to look like and feel like. And I had like all of these grand plans, and I was going to do this and that and this and that. And to summarize it, I didn't meet my own expectations or goals. I didn't. And I'm sure most of you guys didn't even realize it. And that's where I feel like so much unconditional love from my listeners, because you guys keep showing up every week and supporting me in the show. And I just, what a blessing. I'm so grateful for my listeners. You guys, seriously, I was just telling you before this break that you are totally the best. And that's not even saying it. I get emails from you. I get letters from you. I get presents from you. I just feel so supported and loved by you all of the time. However, during the past year of wandering, it became apparent to me that running a couple of businesses and also doing some side gigs that I've been doing, that my health has taken a brunt of those consequences, or as a consequence, I should say. And it put me in a position to not be able to show up and meet those expectations and goals that I spoke about earlier. And I'm not too hard on myself, so I'm not stressing about it. I'm not beating myself up over it or anything. I always trust the process, even if it doesn't turn out how I had hoped. And I especially trust it now because it's turning out exactly how I initially thought that it could. And there have been many times that I thought the best thing for me would be to just be done because of the things that I am experiencing with my health. And I thought that maybe trying to show up for everyone all the time wasn't going to be the best thing for me to be doing for myself. And so I've played this tug of war with myself back and forth the entire year because I love soul wandering and it's such a big part of my life. And I have thought, like, what would my life be like without soul wanderings? And I can't even talk about it. It puts a lump in my throat, but I don't need to talk about it because it's not going to be a thing.
You got to feel those feels.
And I have been feeling them, you guys. I have gone through some big things this year. And I haven't really let you in on that because I've been showing up for my guests every week. And part of one of those goals with coming back was to show up more authentically for you. And in doing that was allowing myself to be more open and vulnerable with all of you as you are with me. You guys share your stories with me. You share your heart with me. And I am so fortunate to have those experiences with you. Yet I hold up walls around me and I don't let anyone in. But when you have this desire that is bigger than your breath, you just can't stop doing the things that you're passionate about and that you know for a fact that it's part of your life purpose. And the things that I'm passionate about are holding space for others, as Natalie knows. And I love providing humans with the safe space and allowing them to comfortably and authentically show up as themselves. I just feel like we all need a space for that to happen. And we all deserve to be loved big, especially when we don't feel like we are loved or that we feel worthy of being loved. And it's just who I am. And I can't flip a switch and say I can't do this anymore because I feel like shit, honestly, or A, B, and C, whatever that looks like. Instead, I decided that, now is as good a time as any for me to switch that or turn on the switch, I should say, and say, how high can I take the heat? Because I'm being tested. I'm meant to do this and I meant to assist others in this way. But I also know that I'm important and my health is important. And a lot of you don't know, but this technical equipment, all this technology and sitting for 2 hours is really, really hard on my body. For those of you that don't know, I have MS or some kind of neurological autoimmune disease. Nobody really knows, but that's what it's been labeled. And so more times than not at the end of the show, I have extremely bad headaches and they last for a couple of days after every show. We're going to work on that. I'm going to figure out some solutions to help me along, make that easier. But then I just have like everyday challenges with this particular neurological disease. And chronic fatigue is one of them. And I honestly, if I have to say one thing, being fatigued all the time when you're a driven person and want to do all the things and go all the places is very frustrating. But I've learned something this year. The best way that I can explain it, and it's been really, really hard for me. And this is where I just get to be super authentic and saying that I don't have to do it by myself. I don't have to do everything all by myself. I can ask for help and I can get out of my own way and ask for help. And MS is hard. And the last 2 weeks I've been in a big flare. And I honestly didn't even know I'd make it tonight. So I'm so grateful. Wasn't going to get emotional, but I'm also going to be real with you guys that when you're struggling or when you're having issues of any kind, you don't have to do it alone. And I say that all of the time, but I'm actually walking the walk now. And so here we are. I have asked for help, which leads me to the big announcement. And it's a happy thing. I'm not crying because I'm sad. I'm just emotional because it's been a lot. It's been a lot. Doing the show in between like running the businesses, like the going back and forth and connecting with the guests and the agents, and then all of the work before the show and then during the show and the aftermath of the show. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot just to do for one person. So it doesn't have to be for one person anymore. I've asked for help, and I'd like to give you guys finally. Do we have like a drum roll, Chanel? Do you have one like in the back?
It was sound
I'm
effects.
so nervous to say this out loud. I'd like to welcome to the show not only our guest for the evening, but Soul Wandering's newest teammate and my brand new co-host, Natalie Peace. That's the big
That
news.
was so good.
That's the big news, you guys. I have a co-host to Soul Wanderings now, and I don't have to do it alone. And I get to continue to wander with all of you and also take care of my health and have the support to heal my body and show up for all of you. And I'm really excited about it. And I know you guys all love Natalie so much because she literally has been one of the top requested return guests over and over and over again. And now we don't have to ask her to keep coming back. She has agreed to do 2023 co-hosting of Soul Wanderings with me and be with all of you as well. So,
yay!
Hello and welcome, my brand new co-host, Natalie Peace.
Thank you. I'm so proud of you for like going all through that, because I know I've watched you, just the things that you go through and that difficulty you have in allowing for people to show up for you. And, you know, you are amazing, creative, powerful on your own, but I've watched you learning how to surrender a little.
Yeah,
and
surrender.
trust a lot. Because you're just like, and to be picked, that you picked me and trust me like that, that means so much because of the things that I know about you. And I'm super excited.
I'm so excited. I'm frustrated that it came down to this, but also I love that this is what is happening because of it. It's so beautiful. It's so wonderful in so many ways. So,
and on my side of the street, honestly, the first time I did the show with you, there was something that just felt like home. To sit in the studio, microphone in my face, headphones on, and I'm like, wow, this feels like home, and I'd never done it before, and it just felt so natural. So I was like, I'll be, I love that. I'll do the show whenever you need one, all the time. And it's kind of, this whole experience has taught me just to allow for things to happen in the time that they happen. Like there's a flow to particular things. So when you, my heart was just beating when you sat me down and said, well, I've been thinking about it. And I'm like, holding my breath going, I wonder, does that mean, oh yes, okay.
I just knew I couldn't do this anymore by myself. And it was too important for me to stop doing it. And I knew that the person that would hold that space had to be extraordinary.
Oh.
So I'm emotional because it's a lot for me to let go like this. Not that I'm like a control freak.
Oh, well.
I'm not that bad.
No.
It's just, I think that the last 2 weeks have been hard. I think it's just playing a little number on my emotions.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't hid the fact that I have a neurological autoimmune disease. But I'm not very open about what that looks like and the challenges that are, because I'm a private person.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I received an email from someone who recently found out that this was something that I struggled with. And she had, and I wish I could pull it up quickly, but she had said something along the line. She didn't say this, but this was the gist of it: is my mess is my message, right? Like, why aren't you sharing that you're going through these challenges? Because there are other people who are also going through their challenges that need someone to show up. And I never wanted to be that person who is like, I'm going through this, because I don't want people to feel bad for me.
Right.
Because I've been on the other side of things where I have felt bad for people who are going through what I'm going through.
Right.
In the past, before I actually was the person going through it.
Right. But to look at that a different way, it becomes a model. You become a model of different ways to make it through.
Yeah. We're just going to roll with it. And so with that being said, with Natalie being a co-host, some of the things about the show are going to change, but all the things you love are going to stay the same. We're still Soul Wanderings. We're still going to interview amazing guests from all over the world, as I always have. We're going to add some things though, like we're going to have Natalie Nuggets, because Natalie always has these little wisdoms to share with all of us. We're going to have peace of mind moments, because her last name is Peace. Get it? Peace of mind. Of course, we'll have like relationship guidance and coaching tidbits, and we'll have all kinds of really cool stuff. I have a list of things I wanted to accomplish this year with Soul Wanderings. We're going to be adding some of that into the mix. And I'll just be able to show up with you more authentically too, because we won't always have a guest. Sometimes it will just be me and Natalie. And sometimes the phone lines are just going to be open the whole time, and we'll let you call us and ask for advice. And of course, we'll still have some of the best guests, like I said, because we do have some amazing guests, as you all know. And it'll still be Soul Wanderings after all, because Soul Wanderings we must.
Yes. I have no desire to come in and overhaul the show. I hope to bring my piece to it. That's funny. It's like to enhance it and just to make it better.
Yeah.
That's my whole aim, is just like to still have the listeners and have them enjoy the experience. And I feel like it's a good challenge for me. This is something I have not done on this level. So I'm excited to step into that new space. Yay. Level up. Next level.
It's so good.
Expansion.
I'm so excited. So let me just clarify, because I'm looking in the chat rooms and y'all are thinking I'm not going to do the show anymore. Sorry if it sounded that way. Yes, there was a point that I thought about stepping away this year because my health has taken a little bit of a turn with the neurological autoimmune disease that I have. However, I could not do it. I can't leave Soul Wanderings. And so I asked for help, asked for Natalie Peace to be my co-host. So she's going to take on some of the work that I normally do, which will assist me. It will also allow me to show up more authentically for all of you. And you guys will get so much goodness from her. It's like double.
Just a brand new adventure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be
AJ
amazing.
and Natalie.
Yeah. So now the show is Soul Wanderings with AJ and Natalie. The next 2 weeks, we will not have a live show, but beginning the very beginning of January, on January 4th, we will have our very first show. So everything will be different. the next 2 weeks because we'll have this little holiday break. And then when I come back in January, I'm bringing Natalie with me. She's ending the year and beginning anew.
Woohoo. 2023. Let's
What
see
would you like to
happens.
say about all of that?
Oh my, what is it? I maybe should have written a thing you had written.
I had bullet points because I knew I'm really good about, I can ramble.
Okay.
You know that.
Yes.
I can make one sentence like an entire page, and I don't mean to.
That's part
It's
of
part
it.
of my emotional.
But it is part of what makes, you've been doing this for 6 years. And so it's part of what everybody keeps showing up. They don't consider it rambling.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Do you guys consider that rambling? I think
You're
they
like,
might be like, get on with it, AJ.
Questions in the, it's entertainment.
You talk too much. Shh.
I'm excited. Take everything. So I'm an ad lib person. That's what I say. Mostly ad lib. I might have some bullet points, but I didn't really have prepared much bullet points for this. I'm like, okay. It's going to be the co-host and we're going to watch it unfold because life really does that. Life really unfolds.
Yeah.
So you can't really plan. You can plan some things, but truly what it's going to become is what, and we're going to be open to feedback, aren't we? Too. It's like if it's not, well, I don't anticipate it's going to be not. I anticipate it's going to be enjoyable and entertaining, and I'm excited.
Entertaining.
Entertaining.
It will be entertaining. There is that.
I'm also very much looking forward to giving you the support that you need.
Yeah, I think that when you talk about how you just sit and listen to other people, that is like one of the most supporting things that you can do. And I think it's going to try you a little bit because I don't want you to just sit and listen. I want you to participate. Right. And you will. You're good at that also.
Right. So I think in some ways I'm going to be finding part of my voice because I haven't, a lot of times I am sitting and I'm pulling from other people, but this will challenge me and crack open a part of me that will be, that I know that's in there, much more of a public speaker that can just be the one that's sharing a bunch of the message. So I do look forward to that. I look forward to the expansion that I'm going to be experiencing, stepping into this role. And it's like, I don't even know. I try not to think about it too much because I don't want to get too far ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's so good to be in the present moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Although we have met several times in the last few weeks and have come up with a list of all of the things we're going to be having on the show, like I explained earlier. But I want to involve you guys, the listeners, as much as possible. Like I see you in the chat room. I get your emails. I get your letters. You're participating behind the scenes, but I really want to involve you in the show more. And I know KGRA is in the middle of setting up brand new phone lines or they're going to have that possible. But Natalie and I also are going to have a voicemail line where you can leave messages through the week, even anonymously, where you can just share something and get it off your chest. It's kind of like, what are we going to call that? Oh, yeah, Whisper Wednesdays. Yeah. And so it just gives you a place to also show up without judgment or pressure or anything like that and share what's on your heart or on your mind. Those messages, as a disclaimer, will always possibly be up for being put on air, but if they're anonymous, nobody will know that it's you. But also we'll have the phone lines open where you can call in, and we'll have nights where we just let you guys share anything you want to share. Like, did you see a UFO last night? Awesome. Let's talk about it. Did you have an amazing time with your family last week and you learned something about your history or yourself? Yes, let's talk about it. Because this is Soul Wanderings, and Soul Wanderings always was meant to not just have guests that are up to like big things in the world. When I say like notable thing, or how would I say that?
Whether they have their accolades or they have their
Yeah.
accomplishments, and it looks like
It's not just that. It's about humans. We're all
Yeah.
here to help each other home. We're all here to help each other one way or another. And none of us are meant to be alone. And none of us are meant to feel alone. And none of us need to be alone. And Soul Wanderings has always had that foundation where we come together every week and we spend time together in the chat room and we learn something new about ourselves from the guests. And it's still going to be that way. I just think that it's going to be amped a little bit because now I'll have more energy to put into the show, and I'll have assistance for other things to happen that I always wanted to happen. So I feel like it's like Soul Wanderings on steroids. Would that be a good way to put it?
That is what definitely amplified.
Soul Wanderings amplified.
That's right. What you've had, but more. Now there's more.
Maria, to answer your question, yes, she can keep up.
They're wondering whether I can keep up with you.
No, not with me.
Oh,
just with all there's this beautiful banter that goes on in the chat room. Some of it is not on air appropriate, which I love. But yeah, she was just wondering if you could keep up with all of that. Yes, she's the kind of person that could keep up with all of you guys.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to continue to be the one in the chat rooms and continue to be the one interacting with you guys. Natalie's going to stay out of the chat room.
We don't know. We'll see. Maybe.
It's multitasking.
Right.
And we talked about this earlier.
See, I'm going in for expansion. I'm being, growing, and maybe I'll move into where I can do that.
I can see Natalie in the middle of a sentence and then like, oh, hold on, I need to write.
I would totally do.
Let me respond. Like right in the middle.
Right.
And I don't think that's going to work. I can type a sentence and also talk to you.
So it's like.
And my brain is on fire. So here we are. Isn't that funny how that works? But yeah.
I'll be bringing, so there'll be like a Dear Abby sort of thing. They'll be like, Dear Natalie, what do you think I should do with this human experience that I'm currently going through? It would be lovely to get those kind of questions and then be able to respond that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's going to be an
adventure.
It'll be an adventure. We could call it that.
I think it's going to be so much. It's definitely going to be fun. It's going to be, yeah. What do they say? Do they like, yay? We don't know. We kind of wonder.
They're saying, I'm not sure about Natalie. Maybe. No, everyone's really excited. Of course they're excited.
They're like, what?
No, everyone's excited. They're excited.
Years ago, I had the concept that said change is necessary for progress.
Yeah.
And there's times where that really is the truth of it. That it's change. Don't be afraid of change.
Yeah. And we are so easy to be afraid of it. Change is hard.
It can be.
But I also love it.
I know, but it's change is invigorating and change is stimulating. And things can get kind of a little bit stale. And so they shake it up a little bit and see how it resettles. And that's what I anticipate is happening.
Yeah. And it's not really going to change that much. It's just going to be.
I will be on the air every week with you.
Embellished.
Embellished. I like that. Put a little bling in it.
Yes, a little bling. I'm all about the bling in 2023. I do have another business that I've started, and it's just because I can't hold still, and it doesn't require me a lot of energy. So but it's all about the bling.
It is all about the bling.
Yeah. We're going to be doing some bling things. I'll share that with you guys later, but
yeah, that's fun what you're doing.
It's another time. I'm connecting with my inner child. Who else is connecting with their inner child lately? How important is that?
Oh, I was just talking with my niece today about going back to her 16-year-old self to kind of pick up some pieces and maybe give her young 16-year-old self wisdom if she's gained any in the last 17 years. More than that, but right. Reconnect. Inner child work is really powerful. And connecting with that inner child and sending the wisdom. If you've gathered wisdom, which we all have, wisdom comes from experience, and sending that backwards in time. It's just amazing how that heals just like that. Just heals. You can say, hey, I'm going to send this back to my 16-year-old self. She needs to know it's going to turn out okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is going to be okay too. It's amazing when you connect with whatever age that needs to be for you in that time. I have to admit, the first time someone tried to do that with me, I was like, you want me to what? You want me to talk to my 5-year-old self? What? Like, how would I talk to my 5-year-old self? Like, that was 40 years ago. What? What are you talking about? But they actually took me through this process. And before I knew it, like, it was the most amazing, incredible experience. And I was hugging her and loving her so hard, like she needed it.
Right. But who better than you to know exactly what she needed?
Wow, the healing that occurred in that session. And I was just like, okay, you sounded kind of corny, but that was incredible. Incredible.
It is incredible to do that work. If you think about it, that when people will carry stories about the wounds that happen because our little selves didn't have their needs met, and yet it's you as that little one and the older one that's still telling the story that could legitimately go back and meet that need exactly like it needed to be met.
Yeah.
Because parents or other people don't know, because you can't articulate really well as a young person, maybe even as an old person.
Yeah.
Articulating our own wants and needs. Oftentimes we want people to just, why can't you just read my mind?
I know. But I'm also glad they can't. I'd be in so much trouble. Thank you for not.
You're like, oh, you don't want to be in here, especially the times where you're going off.
As soon as I said that, I thought of Maria in the chat room. I love you, Maria. Although I would love to read her mind. I'm sure in her what she's thinking would be something similar to what I was thinking. But yeah. Inner child healing, do the work. Always do the work. Always show up for yourself, no matter what that looks like.
Oh, it's so true. Don't be afraid to answer those inner questions. Face it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we made our big show announcement. We didn't plan a whole hour of talking about it.
Right. So it's like, what? Do we go back to emotions in the holidays?
Now that we got that out of the way, y'all know I have a co-host, Natalie Peace.
Yeah.
Let's talk about emotional intelligence.
in the holidays.
Back to you, Natalie.
Back over to me. Like, where did we leave it off? It's like, oh, navigating the holidays. So we were discussing family situations.
See, I'm already putting her on her.
She said,
toes.
see that? It's going to go this way. We're both going to be authentic because I definitely show up authentic.
Rolling
Rolling
with the homies.
Right. So, right. So we were talking about how grief can be difficult and it can be hard. There's pressure on both the griever and the people that are around the person and emotions in general. I do want to touch a little bit back on emotions. And there's language that I talk about it a lot. I have a lot of opportunities to describe emotional experiences. So I get some common language that I have about it. And one thing that I want people to consider and think about is that an emotional experience is an experience that you're having in any given moment. And I'm going to say these words, and some people might kind of have pushback against it, but I'm going to stand by them. The emotions don't mean anything. And here's why they don't mean anything. Because if you have an emotion and you wait for an hour, you will notice that emotion will dissipate.
Yeah.
So when you build some case around a temporary experience, you end up having a very chaotic life.
Yeah.
So the framework that I talk about, and even we talked earlier about human design and things like that. And if you don't know that, you don't even need to understand that to get this concept. Notice you're having an emotional experience. It just is an experience. Doesn't mean anything. So often people will want to change other people's behavior. Now, this is a general statement, and I understand that. So we don't get into this doesn't mean you let someone abuse you or anything. It's just saying, take notice of your emotional experience. And when you can learn how to just ride through the emotional experience, a lot of things change.
Right. Right. It's easy to hear you say that, but going through that experience is completely different in real time, right?
Oh, yeah. That does not mean that I have this all on lock.
Dang it. You're supposed to be telling us the tricks and the tips.
I am.
So, question in the chat room, how do you learn from an emotional experience?
Interesting. Let my thoughts just coalesce here for a minute. When you stop identifying so deeply with the emotion and behaving from a framework like it needs to be analyzed, so thereby it could be prevented, when you stop doing that and you just let yourself go all the way through the experience, you prop through the other side. So a couple of things that I would say, that fully lets the emotion fully express itself and completely dissipate without the brain getting involved. So one thing I'll often tell people, please do not think your feelings. Feel your feelings.
Don't think your feelings. Feel your feelings. There's an idea.
That's one way you learn from them. Is because when we think our feelings, our brain wants to troubleshoot, prevent, analyze, tear it apart, and then blame. All of those things, it becomes very like a quagmire. So when you don't think it and you're simply experiencing it. Now it's going to take some practice.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people...
Because we also judge our feelings.
Right.
And our experiences. And that's a thinking thing.
Mm-hmm. Or we judge someone that may have triggered an emotional response. Or we've got to go on the witch hunt. Which thing in my childhood was it that created this? And then we're locking in to trauma, and it's very spiderwebby.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be, it sounds messy.
Yeah.
But it's just untangling those webs to understand.
Right. Or just on a really basic level. Okay, so let's talk about it instead of from a difficult thing. And let's just talk about an emotion you have maybe around ice cream.
I love ice cream. Does ice cream love me? Nope.
No.
Too much sugar.
But just ice cream. So if you were, go to the ice cream parlor, you're going to spend a little money to get some ice cream, and you just let yourself experience the whole ice cream, and you tasted it and you noticed the flavor, and you were very mindful about that experience.
Mm-hmm.
There's some emotion involved in that.
Or memories.
And so you start noticing all these different things that's what I'm talking about, is just being in the experience, noticing, raising your awareness.
Mm.
And as you go through that, it's like opens up, like a flower opening up. Expansion can happen.
That feels good. Like I'm sitting here playing an experience or an emotion out and imagining that as you're sharing. And I'm like, I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
It also allows you to be more in the present moment.
Absolutely. Bring yourself all the way to the now. And so when you think about it in a pleasant emotion, because emotions don't really, it's a full spectrum of emotions. So a lot of times we try to change up our life wrapped around the difficult emotions. But if I take it over to the other side of the spectrum and talk about a pleasant emotion, that's a whole easier thing. That's something someone wouldn't say, well, that's hard. No, that doesn't feel hard at all.
Yeah, it actually feels easier.
Mm-hmm. So you don't always need to practice in the difficult or distressing emotional arena. Go over to this positive. Like at a birthday party, you don't say, okay, quick, happy's done. We got 5 minutes to finish that happy time. Done, 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 done.
I've actually been to parties that have been like that. Okay. We did the damn thing. Let's go.
There's probably some underlying things at those parties. Maybe.
I don't know. Sometimes I want the party to be over too.
So it's like a lot of times we don't have the same experience with the positive side of the emotional arena. We're not moving through, move along, like we want the distressing. So play with it in a positive emotional experience and notice how that emotion too dissipates. So the Buddha said that attachment is the root of all suffering.
Yes.
So we will get attached to the emotion, and it's a temporary experience, and then it goes. So even something that we crave and we get, and you ever notice that it's so exciting to, like just with this announcement, now that the announcement's done, we're just like, okay, now we're in the now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of anticipation before the announcement.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's out in the open. Everybody knows now.
Now we're in this new paradigm.
You know how hard that was to keep a secret from everybody?
We did good, didn't we?
Yeah. We didn't tell anyone except for, of course, Warren. He's the owner of KGRA. And our producers, Bill and Chanel.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else was not in the know.
Maybe just 2 people in my life. I just told 2 people.
Yeah. I told 2 people.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a tough one. Even tonight, our my employee, Amanda, who you work with,
mm-hmm.
she was like, "What are you and Natalie going to talk about tonight?" Like, this is so hard. I'm just going to tell you. You can't listen anyway.
So now she'll hear tomorrow.
Yeah, no, she knows. It's all good.
It's exciting.
It's exciting. And I think what's really cool going back to it, Natalie, is you have so many people you help.
Mm.
And you have such a following, like loyal clients who are always Team Natalie. And so when they're not able to meet you for whatever reason, they could at least catch the show and learn something of value from you, which I just think is really cool for all of us.
I'll just bring all that whole network that I have and they can expand the audience.
I just have to tell you guys, Natalie has like a full clientele and then some. Like she's always booked in my shop at Vibes. Always. And I've never come across one single person, not one, who's ever said anything bad about Natalie. Anytime your name is brought up, they're like, "Oh, I love her."
Was when I posted the show announcement, my boss that I used to work for at Bombay, she said, "I love you." I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's
so good. You always have something to share. And I think there's so many people that you can assist. And I talk about this platform being a place where I have assisted other people. Oh, that feels so blessed. I'm so blessed. Now I feel like I just get to help more people through you too. Like collectively together, we get to help more people. Even though we have the same list, we'll have the same listeners because y'all sticking around.
And more.
That's our wanders. What? And we'll even have more because you'll have your people who come to see you too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just even more people we get to assist because teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh, yes. Anyone that knows you.
Yeah.
So that one of the things that I know I bring is all things human. It's very human. I'm very human-centered as far as understanding that we are a body with a soul wandering. It's like the soul is the passenger in this body vehicle.
Yeah.
And often the soul doesn't like the body vehicle's way of doing things.
No. I'm in that space right now. Can I get a new vehicle, please?
Right, you're treating this vehicle because it's like having operating problems.
Yep.
So navigating that human experience, I definitely have a lot of expertise in a lot of years I've been working with people.
Yeah.
Of going through that human experience and articulating it and reframing it and rescripting things and helping people understand perhaps what the benefit of is this human experience is and how it can be so expansive to literally lean in versus leaning away.
Yeah.
It's like lean in, get more curious, lean in. What? It's a mess. It's a swamp. I know.
I've been really good at not leaning in my life. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just gonna hang out over here.
Gotta have discretion about what you lean into. But.
Well, yes, definitely, of course. But most of the time, even if it's my own stuff, especially if it's my own stuff, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna hang out over here on the side. I'm gonna observe.
Oh, I've been guilty of that too.
Yeah.
The challenges of like really truly pushing for the expansion and giving in my own life, like giving myself some of the foundation that I know I need, but having to do some work to actually establish that and going through I've had my own difficult things in life and times where I find, well, see, my thing is I work, I'm extroverted. So it is so easy for me to meet with clients and do that kind of work. But sometimes taking care of some of my own personal stuff, it's like, I think I'll just book some more clients. I'll go handle that. That's easy.
It's true.
Decluttering my house, not as easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like letting go.
Yeah. I've noticed, like, we just bought a house this year. How everyone does. You accumulate so much garbage. And you're like, how did I do this? But I know that I've put an emotion or a memory to every single item in the house.
Oh, yes.
And if I haven't, I know I'm going to create one that goes with it. So I want to keep it until I create it. So I can't get rid of any of it. And this year, like, I had a moment where my partner took me to the garage. It's like, okay, we're going to clean this today. And I'm like, no, we're not. You have to schedule this with me.
You're like, I can't just be
You
spontaneous.
can't just put me on the spot and tell me yes or no to a box or an item. Like, we have to schedule this. And he's like, no, we're going to do it now. I had a panic attack. I was like, this is not happening today. I do not have time for this today. And our garage is still full of boxes.
Ah.
I'm ready now,
I could,
though.
understanding his form, he could be like, no, we can just do this. We can just make a quick decision in the now, and we just
I'm
know.
like, no, I've got to hold it. I've got to be like, do I keep you or let you go? And if I let you go, I need a moment with you of all the things that could have been.
I can completely relate to that.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous when you kind of look at it and go, I really is not helping me.
I opened up my son's room. Like, he stayed in it. He came home to visit the weekend we moved. And so I made his room first, and it was clean. The bed was made and set up and all the things. As soon as he left, we filled it with boxes. All my art supply boxes. And so I've got like piles of canvases and boxes of art supplies and crafts and you name it. The room is filled. I'm not getting rid of any of it.
It's not happening.
It's not happening. But I've got to figure out a way to organize it and put it in a space. And that feels like a lot to me too. That's a whole mission.
That's kind of what
it's an emotional thing for me.
It is.
Just is.
Oh, hey, that's that emotional definition. I have that too.
It's goals.
I
Goals
guess.
for 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get rid of some emotions.
We're probably
that are packaged in boxes.
We're going to lean in and fully process this emotion, go all the way through the emotional experience and let it go.
Yep. Basically.
I think we'll support each other in that, because that's one of my my desires is to simplify and minimize my space and clutter.
Let's cheer each other on, Natalie. We've got this.
Okay, we got this.
We're going to do the show. We're going to clean up our spaces. We're going to have a happy 2023, and it's going to be amazing.
It is going to be amazing.
Thanks for closing this year with me and sharing all of your amazing wisdoms with us on emotional intelligence with the holidays.
My pleasure.
And I hope you have an amazing holiday season.
You too.
I'm going to do my best. And to all of you, my listeners, this is the last show of the year. So we're going to wrap it up because time is telling us it's time to say goodbye for now. So make sure you join us back here January 4th for Soul Wanderings Embellished. Is that what we decided?
Embellished. Yes. We're going to have bling.
I hope you all have the most amazing holiday season. And if you feel alone, or even if you are alone, literally reach out to me. I will text you. I will talk to you. You do not have to be alone.
And you don't have to do that by yourself anymore.
Yeah.
They can tap in for me too.
Yeah, Natalie. And have a very safe and happy holiday season. And we'll see you guys in the new year 2023 on January 4th. Good night, everyone. We'll see you soon.